Hey, welcome back to my podcast. My name is Michael Mangenji. I'm here with Munya over here. Today we got to keep it light. We are discussing every, basically everyday uses of AI. You interact with this AI, which is artificial intelligence, in more ways than you actually know. So this is really not a lesson. It's just general discussion so that you basically know how and when you're interacting with this artificial intelligence. So, as I said, in your day to day lives, you actually interact with this artificial intelligence more than you know. There's so many ways you interact with this artificial intelligence from your personal devices and communications, all these smartphones you're using, iPhones, Androids. For example, it's actually been around for quite a while. I'm sure each one of you have used Siri, okay, Google, Alexa, and so forth. That's an example of working with AI in your day-to-day lives. Every one of you has used navigation in maps. That's artificial intelligence. That's information that's been fed into Google Maps. That allows you to navigate, go to where you're trying to go easily. It seems like such a long time ago we used to use actual maps. And we're only talking about the year maybe 2000. Yeah, we had to go to a gas station, man, and
Yes.
buy a map. So you wanted to travel from, say, McKinney, Texas to someplace in Oklahoma. You had to go to a gas station and buy an actual map. Try to navigate. Can you imagine try to missing an exit from a map?
That
That was
yeah, that was
crazy.
crazy. I remember them days, man. You
Yeah,
said you sit in the car and then you look at the directions, and if you have your map the wrong way round, a left
yeah.
gonna turn into a right, and right turns into the left, and before you know it, you are going the opposite of where you're supposed to go. So that was crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about social media.
Mhm.
That's artificial intelligence working with you. It knows based on what we call algorithms. That's just a big word for, big fancy word for a program that is, in a way, tracking what you're doing, and it generates results based on your previous searches. So, hey, you've wondered, how does my phone know that I like construction stuff or DIY stuff? I'm sure you can give me examples of where your social media feed is giving you things that are suggesting,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a lot of workout videos, a lot of business stuff every time when I go on my social media. So I try and use that to my advantage and control what I see on a day to day basis based on what I search for.
yeah, it's actually an advantage. It's trying to optimize what you see based on what you like. So, in certain cases, I've heard people saying, hey, my phone is spying on me. In a way, I guess it is, but it's not. So, this is based on, first of all, they have your demographics. When you sign on to these apps, you give your name, date of birth, and so forth. So, first of all, they know exactly your location, your age, and based on the things you click, they generate results based on that. So Mr. Munoz over here, he's a fitness fanatic and he's into design. And so I'm sure you can see this is his design spell life. We gotta give a shout out to his design.
Stay positive, enjoy life.
Exactly.
Yes,
And
sir.
good shout out. So I'm sure in his feed he's seeing things like printing, he's seeing fitness. My feed is more tech and so forth. And occasionally, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm going to cut you off, but this I have a question. You know, when you have your phone on the side and you searching for something, or you just having a conversation with somebody and you say something, I feel like the phones are listening devices because Siri I was kind of in the jet when you're talking sometimes, but
Yeah,
I also feel like scientifically, as a speaker can also be used as a microphone and a recording device. So conspiracy time is are they listening to conversations because I think they are.
yeah. Actually, that's quite possible. They should not be doing this, but it is quite possible. So, not Siri. I mean, that's why they recommend. Okay, I know with cameras on, say, your laptops, they recommend sticking something on it because it's quite possible your phone, your computer, anything electronic can be tapped into by an outside source. Um, so in order to prevent that, in most cases you would have clicked on some link in maybe your email, but that's a topic for another day. It's phishing, social engineering. We're gonna get into that in another video. So yeah, it's quite possible. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. And
See, I'm not crazy.
there was actually a lawsuit where Alexa,
Mhm.
okay, maybe I'm not supposed to say names, but that application
Mhm.
was listening in to certain conversations, and they shouldn't have. But yeah, it's quite possible.
It's quite possible.
That's the short
Okay,
answer without
there it
scaring you
is. Y'all can
guys.
do y'all research on that. But go
So
on, sir.
again, this AI is interacting with you in more ways than you know. Smart appliances, we have now fridges that can order food based on what's in there. First of all, it knows what you're putting in the fridge, it knows what you're taking out, it knows the expiration date of certain foods. So yeah, it gives you a shopping list. Or in the more advanced cases, it actually sends that shopping list to platforms like Amazon. And more and more, your home is becoming automated. So smart systems, smart appliances. That little robot that does your vacuuming, that's an example of AI as well. So you basically map out your house and set out your times. Maybe when you're sleeping, it starts vacuuming, it dumps the trash. It's crazy where this AI is going. Maybe you can give me some more examples where you've interacted or you think you've interacted with artificial intelligence.
When you go do your grocery shopping at the when you get to the register and
Right.
the weighted thing, and it already knows you scan something, you put it to the side, and he said, "Oh, you got to put it on." You forgot to put it in the bag. It's a combination of AI and cameras and stuff. You try and sneak something to the side, it flags it up, stuff like that.
Yeah, we were just having a discussion earlier on how those self checkout systems, nobody's like physically there,
Yeah, nobody is manning the
but
stations.
they, trust me, they're watching you from stations out there. The system itself is recognizing whether or not you've scanned an item, you've skipped an item. Because initially, was it a couple of years ago, the amount of theft that was happening at self checkout stations was crazy, and big retailers like Walmart were actually losing a lot of money.
I
So
can imagine.
they decided to employ this technology. And you may think you've gotten away without scanning, something, but before you walk out that door, there's got to be one of those loss prevention guys.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You catch a felony.
So yeah, next thing
So,
is e-commerce
hmm,
shopping.
yeah.
Um, there's a lot of this AI being used, e-commerce shopping, based on what you normally shop for. You see your Amazon recommendations. Hey, how do they know I like these categories of products? That's artificial intelligence
Hmm.
working.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's suggesting for you based on the current trends, but they try to make it more personalized. Uh, I'm sure you've seen where you check out at these stores, they're asking you for your email address. Why do they need my email address? Once, based on your shopping habits, you're going to get more personalized recommendations. You see, oh yeah, 25% coupon
For some shoes.
for some shoes, right?
Because
Like,
I know,
hey, 25.
especially the ladies be buying some
I
shoes
know
on the
ladies
regular.
like discounts. If there's a discount noted.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah.
Hmm.
So finance, okay, so now let's go to finance and banking. Fraud detection. A lot of AI is being used in that. In most cases, okay, let me give you an example. I'm sure you've all traveled maybe to a different state, different country, maybe. You've tried to use your card, it says that denied. You get the instant automatic notification on your phone, on your email that, hey, is this really you? Because now these AI systems know this guy normally shops around Dallas, Texas, or maybe London, England, or Harare, Zimbabwe. Now it's showing transactions happening
In Mexico.
in Mexico. Like,
Hmm.
okay, what's
That really
happening?
you?
So that's fraud detection. It may be a little bit of a, what you call it, inconvenience,
Hmm.
but it's there to help you. So yeah, you want to say something on
Yeah, I
that?
wanted to say I noticed with my bank, they send me information as far as based on my spending and the money that comes out my account. They send me a budget. Like when the money comes in there, if there's a lump sum, they say you need to add this amount of money because your outgoings
Ex
based on the outgoings that I normally have every month. So it calculates everything in my budgets and what goes to insurance and what goes to this, that, and the third. So it's really good.
yeah, so things that you needed spreadsheets back in the day to calculate, your monthly budget, it knows where you've spent on groceries, you've spent on transportation, you've spent on entertainment, you've spent on, all these different categories. It'll actually generate your spending spreadsheet or graph, and you can maybe know, hey, not to be spending too much money on the clubs or whatever your vice is,
Yeah.
or shoes for certain people, clothes. For myself, is gadgets, entertainment. So yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
when it comes to banking, we also have personalized financial services. They offer personalized financial services or products based on your needs. So maybe you're a rich guy. They see your money's like laying around. You got $100,000 there. They will offer you investment opportunities. Can you put it in this fund?
So
You know,
that's AI generated as well.
that's AI generated. These are things that human beings used to sit around and try to recommend you. Those personal bankers that are in
Yeah.
their own
That are
offices.
fast becoming obsolete right now.
We spoke about transportation last week, autonomous vehicles. Man, I noticed in China they have this bus, no driver. It knows the stops, it knows how to pick up people, it knows when to close the door. It's kind of crazy, and you get like a real bus experience. No driver though. They've tested it out. It's working pretty okay. No accidents, and in most cases, it's actually driving better than humans. So this is China. I'm sure there's quite a population.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
lot of traffic. I wouldn't say chaos. It's quite organized, but
As
yeah,
organized chaos. I've seen
yep,
AI controlled auction. Y'all check it out on YouTube
yep.
as well.
And we also have traffic optimization, where rush hour, maybe they know when to turn on and off the red lights so that traffic flows faster. In certain cases, we have emergency vehicles like ambulances. When it's coming through, a lot of times it'll activate the green light so that it flows and it's not hindered by traffic. So anything else you can think of?
Nah, conspiracy. I'm always thinking about conspiracy. I'm thinking in the future, if it's not even happening already, I could see AI controlling the weather. How about that?
That is, you know what? That's
Well,
an
we're not gonna get into that, but
that's
it's just
that's an interesting one, because as humans we can control the weather using cloud seeding. This is stuff I learned in my geography classes.
mhm.
For some of you that live in the Middle East, last year we had a lot of rain. This is AI getting information on when it is best to seed these molecules into the clouds. And yeah, they got a lot of rain. It ended up being floods in the Middle East, UAE, Dubai, and all these places. Yeah. So there's there could be a point where these planes could automatically go out and do the seeding. But word of caution though, we still need humans behind the scenes, because if we don't have any oversight or governance,
Or
things
governance.
things
That be
could get
work.
crazy.
Yes, sir.
Search engines. We about to finish. This is gonna be a short episode. Search engines. Google. These were the first to kind of use AI, but it's gotten a lot.
Is Bing still around?
Bing, yeah, actually, Bing is a Microsoft product. So if you have a Microsoft computer, you gotta have
You
Bing.
gonna come
It
across
comes.
Bing.
Not if you get a new computer. I think we set up a computer last week.
Yeah.
By
Was it
default,
on there?
yeah, it was there.
Man, I ain't seen that in a while.
By default, it
Hmm.
comes with Bing, but most people
Right.
decide to use Google because they got all the information. And there's what's called generative AI. Now you can actually write a script for a movie, feed that script into another program, and actually generate images. Okay, I want to generate an image of an African village. You give it all the details. I want to see cows. I want to see men doing the work, ladies doing the work, and you can create a storyline. He's actually into movie and short clip production. He actually writes. He's an author, by the way, and I'll give him a chance to plug his book. But you can now generate movies, scripts based on your input. It's getting crazy. I don't know if it's starting, it may take over these jobs. I don't know how good it is. A lot of times, currently, it's making some mistakes, which we call hallucinations. We got to talk about that. But yeah, before we go, I'm just gonna give Munya a chance to plug his book. Like I said, he's an author. Hopefully, AI is not gonna be taking over, or you're not gonna be using AI, because we still like the essence of your books, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, plug it in.
Well, I appreciate that. I have a book called Shadow Outlines. It's a fictional novel that I wrote a few years ago. It's doing well on Amazon. So if y'all go on Amazon and type in Shadow Outlines, it's there. It's $13 in the US. It's £10 in the UK. And yes, man, I appreciate y'all for the support because it's been really doing well. And if you want a signed copy, just hit me up and I'll give you a signed copy. But yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
thanks a lot for tuning in. Subscribe, share these links. You're gonna see the subscribe button down there. Please share it to your friends, your family members, if you thought this was useful, important. I thank you for your time, and goodbye. See
I'll
you next
catch
time.
y'all on the next one. All right, peace.